Good morning, everyone. Well, I can't believe it now. This is the last Sunday service in October, 3 days away from Halloween, about a month away from Thanksgiving, and a month after that, Christmas and New Year's. The older I get, time seems to be going too fast, and in a month, I'll be covered by Medicare. And, you know, I'm 65, it kind of plays tricks on my mind, but I just have to keep saying to myself that it is only a number, and that what really is important is how you feel and what you do with each day of life that you live. Also, before I begin, I'd like to thank the choir for the beautiful music that they always provide. And for me personally, when I listen to their singing, it brings a certain calmness to me. So thank you again. That's in the choir. You know, after becoming minister's assistant in 2012, I was asked to write articles in the monthly Sangha newsletter. My very first article was about reflections on my journey during the first 50 years here at Betsulin. After graduating from high school in 1972, I would take a 15-year absence in order to go to college, establish my career with the state of California government, get married in 1980, and raise two boys who are now 35 and 32 years of age. Because of the positive experiences and the valuable lessons learned at church during my school years here, I wanted the same for my boys. We were involved with Dharma school, Boy Scouts, sports program, Adult Buddhist Association, and the Sacramento Buddhist Women's Association. The greatest gift we received was to meet the many wonderful people at the church. And on top of that, we made many lifelong friendships. In 1996, Reverend Yukawa and his wife Michiko returned to Sacramento Betsulin after being away for 27 years. It was wonderful to see them come home. For me, this was the golden age at the temple where Reverend Yukawa and Reverend Bob worked together to forge a special relationship with the Sangha. It was their inspirational leadership that encouraged me to join the Board of Trustees in 1997. 2 years later, in 1999, I became the president-elect. Being in that position, that is when I first realized the hard work and dedication of countless individuals working together to make our temple a thriving and successful religious community. And in that year, we celebrated our temple's 100th year anniversary under the leadership of my friend and mentor, Roy Imura. During the year 2000, I became the president of the temple. Of all the tasks and issues I had to deal with, there was one issue that would haunt me for a long time. That was the controversial topic of the Buddhist Churches of America's methodology of assessing the annual dues to the BCA temples. Because our church did not feel the temple was getting a fair shake on what we were required to pay BCA, we withheld our annual dues. During the BCA National Conference, I made a proposal in a BCA dues assessment workshop regarding how to reapportion the annual dues to the temples. This presentation created a firestorm. In the following months, the Wheel of Dharma newsletter, I was labeled ignorant for not understanding the true workings of the BCA and its temples. I felt betrayed by the BCA for being publicly called out on the carpet. Despite this cloud over my head, I completed my duties to the best of my abilities. At the end of my one-year term, I was grateful for the support of the Board of Trustees affiliated and sponsored organizations, and more importantly, the Sangha members. Because of all these people, the church had completed another successful year. As I mentioned earlier, I became a minister's assistant in July 2012 and completed the 2-year Buddhist education correspondence course in February 2014. And finally completed my Tokudo minister's assistant's training in Berkeley in October 2014 before traveling to Kyoto, Japan for my Tokudo. And during the 12 years leading up to my making a commitment to becoming a minister's assistant, that incident in 2000 still deeply troubled me. I mean, imagine, if you will, trying to hold on inside your body, trying to hold the diarrhea for 12 years. That's how bad it was for me. However, lessons learned during my time as minister's assistant helped me to gain a different perspective on that event 18 years ago. It was my ego that got in the way, thinking that this was all about me. I was the only one thinking about what happened in 2000. Nobody else gave it a second thought. Life just moved on from them. And in being honest with myself and reflecting on what I went through, I realized that I had truly taken for granted all that was wonderful with our temple, our ministers, affiliated and sponsored organizations, the temple activities and events, and the people. My failure was to not realize the constant struggles, that the constant financial and human resources struggles that existed at other temples. Conditions that still exist today as temples struggle to become more vibrant and stay relevant within their communities. I was ignorant about the big picture regarding the survival of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism in America. With this understanding of how beautiful our situation really is here in Sacramento, I was able to forgive, make peace in my life, and with this peace of mind, make things right in my life. Forgiveness, as defined in Webster's dictionary, it allowed me to cease the feeling of resentment against the perceived act of wrong committed against me. While holding on to the rage and anger all those years, I finally realized that, to my detriment, those feelings had clouded my judgment, interrupted the positive flow of my life, and shifted attention away from the people and things that really mattered to me. My life is really about my family and friends, and not about me and my insecurities. By making peace, I was able to release those poisons and truly end my cycle of suffering. I was able to heal from within and look forward, be proactive towards life, rather than always looking backwards and being stuck in a negative mindset. The essence of the Dharma is the understanding of the permanence of our life. Things and situations are constantly changing, and more often than not, out of our control. Our lives are connected to all of this, and as such, every experience in our lives will either be good or bad, according to our own limited ways of viewing things. However, each encounter will always be an opportunity for us to adjust, adapt, learn, and grow, allowing us to expand our capacity for understanding and compassion toward others. We must continue to move on with our lives and grow as an individual. I don't know what the future holds for Shin Buddhism in America, but I will savor and cherish my never-to-be repeated experiences with the people and activities, both at our temple and in my life. As Reverend Harada has said, in Buddhism, normally, we only see the world from our own self-centered viewpoint. No matter how much we might say, how much we self-reflect, self-understand, have self-esteem, and self-confidence. Those are the self that really lives in the world of ignorance and delusion. It is the world of the self that cannot truly see itself. When we are finally awakened to understand the teachings from the Buddhist world, we open our hearts and minds to see another self. Our true self, which is able to see the ego self, and from that viewpoint, we can more easily refrain from our greed, anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, and ultimately overcome our ignorance. In closing, please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.